Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. Or excellent. What's up, Steam Deck fans? You know, this tribe, nation, universe, world, legion. What's good? Mob, what's happening? Squad, what's up? Nerds, geeks, and freaks. And you investigators, what's happening? Alright, look. We got a 7.5 earthquake in Japan. Got an article here. One from Tweaktown and one from neowin.net. Says Japan earthquake caused a pause at semiconductor factories. The analyst firm TrendForce has said that a recent strong quake in Japan has caused a temporary but manageable pause at semiconductor factories in the Noto region. Thankfully, after plenty of disruption in previous years, the effects of the earthquake are described as controllable. It says, for anyone not keeping up with current events, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck Japan Noto Peninsula in Ishikawa province. The quake struck on January 1st in the afternoon local time and has killed at least 57 people, with searches still continuing. And then it says several companies, including MLCC manufacturer Teo Yuden, silicon wafer producer Shin-Etsu, and global wafers and fab makers including Toshiba, TIPSCO, all have facilities in the area. And then it says here Shin-Etsu and Global Wafer have shut down their facilities for inspection as the work they do there relates to crystal growth, and growth is sensitive to earthquake. Most of their work is done in Fukushima, according to TrendForce, so they minimally affected by the quake. And then it says TIPSCO has also shut down its facility in Yuzu, Tonami, and area to check everything is okay. And Toshiba is checking out its Keiga facility too. Teo Yuden Niigata plant, which was designed to withstand earthquake with a 7 magnitude, has not endured any equipment damage, according to the company. TrendForce believe that the impact from the earthquake will be manageable for all of the companies involved. It noted that there is a downturn in the semiconductor industry, that it's off-peak season, so they will all have time to recover. It's also noted that most of the factories were in the area that experienced level 4 to level 5 seismic activity, which is in their structural tolerance, so damage should be minimal. With PC sales expected to begin to pick up in 2024, inventories could start to remove their oversupply. Hopefully, these Japanese companies will have resolved their issues by the time customers come asking for more. Well, 7.5 quake. Okay, and you have Teo Yuden and Niigata plant was designed to withstand earthquakes with a 7. Now what about an earthquake with an 8 or a 9 or a 10? Yeah. 57 people lost their lives in this quake. 7.5. That's a big one. You know. And the damage. They say the damage is it's controllable, so they're like doing a lot of investigation to see what they've learned and what they can do. You know. So yeah. Prayers go out to the families that lost people in those quakes. Yeah. Earthquake don't tell you when they're coming. They just show up. All right. What else we got? Since we're talking about gaming here, I'm gonna leave the article in the description box too. But yeah, when earthquake happens, you have to hit the pause button for a minute. You know, hit the pause and stop button and do some checking around to make sure You know, facility is not damaged, people are not hurt, stuff like that. Yeah. And inventory is a big thing too when it comes to quakes. Anyway, here's one for you. Dealing with Emulator. Says finally an emulator for one of the worst consoles ever made. Emulator developer were so preoccupied with whether or not they could never stop to think if they should. It's 12 years after its arguable timely death. An obscure video game console called the Zeebo lives again thanks to the efforts of an emulator developer. Well, sort of anyway. The Zeebo was released in Brazil and Mexico in 2009 as the very first digital-only video game console built to spec with a Qualcomm Brew development platform. The Zeebo was intended to sell mobile-style games in the regions where imports of more popular consoles were often prohibitively expensive. Despite hosting games from franchises as massive as FIFA, Crash Bandicoot, and Resident Evil, poor quality hardware and software ensured that the system never really found an audience, and it was discontinued in 2011. But now a Zeebo emulator is currently in very early development, courtesy of devs who goes by Tuxality. It has not yet been publicly released, but you can see it booting Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart 3D in the video below, albeit with some severe graphical corruption. As with pretty much any emulation project, its progress is entirely dependent on the time its developer can manage to spare. And then it says, but honestly, any progress on Zeebo emulation is a sight to behold. This is a console that near unheard of in English-speaking corners of the world, with a library almost exclusively filled with games no reasonable person should ever want to play. Yet somehow the Zeebo has managed to develop a community of fans that seems to only partly be in it for the memes. Says if you want to know more about the Zeebo, your best resource is probably the video produced by excellent YouTube channel Stop Skeletons from Fighting. Those videos include features length breakdown of the console's history and ongoing series reviewing every single game available for the platform. We'll leave that link in the description box. While there aren't many Zeebo games that looks appealing to play, there is surprisingly solid versions of Double Dragon here, as well as Resident Evil 4 port, so legendary fans mod its enemies into the remake. Alright, yeah. So I will leave all those links and the YouTube video in the description box. Zeebo. Alright. Emulation. Alright. What else I got? See what I can put here. Okay, let's see. Let's see, okay. Here's another one for you. We're talking about the Steam Awards here. Baldur's Gate, I think Starfield and a few others. They got the Steam Awards. So yeah. Uh-oh. Listen to this. The Zeebo. Me personally, I've never heard of that. Never heard of the console. But now I am. But I'm sure the emulation community will have fun with that one. I'm sitting here thinking about it. Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, and Sifu are among the winners of the 2023 Steam Awards. Alright. Valve has already named the winner of its Steam Best of list for 2023 based on how much revenue games received from the digital store in the last year. Now it's time for the tens of millions of Steam players to reveal which game they think are the best, with the winners of the 2023 Steam Awards. It's not a huge shock to learn that Steam players vote for Larian's D&D based RPG Baldur's Gate 3 as Steam's 2023 Game of the Year. Valve stated of the winning game, maybe it was immersive gameplay or its gripping story, its well-crafted characters, immaculate design, or addictive multiplayer. Whatever the reason, the winner of this year's Game of the Year award is an instant classic. Says Baldur's Gate 3 also won a second category in 2023 Steam Award for Outstanding Story-Rich Game. Says Bethesda Game Studios and Microsoft space-based RPG Starfield may have a mixed gamer review rating on its Steam listing. However, Steam players still vote for it as the winner of most innovative gameplay category in 2023 in the 2023 Steam Awards. Another interesting category, best game you not good at, was won by the third-person brawler game Zeebo by Slow Clap. And here are the winners in 2020 Steam Awards. Let's see what they got. That's what they got here. Okay. Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3. VR Game of the Year, Labyrinth, Labor of Love, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best game on Steam Deck, Hogwarts Legacy. Nah. Better with Friends, Lethal Company. Outstanding visual style, Atomic Hearts. Most innovative gameplay, Starfield. Best game you not good at, Seafood. Best soundtrack, Last of Us Part 1. Yeah. Outstanding story-rich game, Baldur's Gate 3. Sit back and relax, Dave the Diver. Say most of these games and the vast majority of games on Steam will still have deep discount at the moment as a part of the annual Steam Winter Sale. You still have time to take advantage of these price cuts before the sale ends on January 4th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, standard. So yeah, I'm still looking at this list. Best game on Steam Deck is Hogwarts Legacy. Nah, I'm not buying it. I don't think so. I would say best game on Steam Deck. There's a whole bunch of them. I think it depends on the individual, to tell you the truth. Labor of Love, Red Dead Redemption 2. Well, the Red Dead Redemption 2 fan base, they were upset that that at the Game Awards that game didn't get any votes. VR Game of the Year, Labyrinth. Matter of fact, I just seen an article that's talking about a studio is being closed because of the VR games are not getting the support it needs. Yeah. Let's see. Outstanding story-rich game, Baldur's Gate 3. That should have went to Starfield, but that's just me though. Best game with friends, Lethal Company. Well, you can put a whole bunch of games in that category. I mean, what's that? I'm trying to think of the game that was it Overcooked? So yeah, there's a whole bunch of games you put in that category. Best soundtrack, Last of Us Part 1. Yeah, Last of Us Part 1. I like that one better. I would take that one over Part 2. Anything else? Alright. keep the ball. Let me keep the ball moving here. It's a 7.5 earthquake. Yeah. So a lot of structures are not ready for that type of quake, you know. Let's see, or even an 8 or even a 9. You might build a building to withstand a quake, but once that ground opens up, that building is cooked. Yeah. What's another one? Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Steam breaks the record again. So 14,000 games. Whoa. Steam break another annual record, launching more than 14,000 games in 2023. What, on the Steam Deck, or we say Steam was another record-breaking year for Steam, as more titles released on Valve platform in the last 12 months than in any other previous year. Documented on SteamDB, 2023 saw the release of 14,531 titles on the Steam, smashing 2022's record by under 2,000 games. The sheer quantity of release means that, on average, more than 39 games were released every single day. Wow. You never getting through that backlog. Yeah. I'm sure gaming on Linux can't even get through his. But anyway, even if you stick to the very best PC game, 2023 finally saw the continuation of a trend that's been continuing for several years. 2010 and 2019 were the only years in Steam history that didn't see the total number of annual releases increase year over year, but there's been a massive upward trend in 2014 with the initial impact of Steam Greenlight and then the subsequent arrival of Steam Direct. The number of games that release on Steam has grown substantially. And anything else? Anything else? I think that's it. Wait a minute. Anything else? Yeah. Anything else? Whoops. Anything else? I think that's it. I think that's it. I think. But yeah, that's a lot of games, man. 14,000. That's a lot in 2023. Okay, the average human. Okay, you need 8 hours of sleep. You need 8 hours of sleep. Okay, all right. You got some hours you got to give for work, and yeah, that is a lot of games, man. When you look at it, 14,531. Woo. Anything else? Let me keep going here. It says here last year's total is massive, more than the number of games that released on Steam in its first decade combined. But what tickles me is that that developers appear to show no signs of slowing down. On the very first day of 2024, 36 new games launched on the platform. That's just under last year's average daily release schedule, which is pretty impressive coming out of the fog between Christmas and the New Year's Eve. I could barely move during that time, let alone put the finishing touches on a new game. Wow, 39 games released on Steam already. Yeah, like I said to you Steam Deck fans, you Steam Deck fans, you're spoiled. You got 14,531 games that was released on Steam last year. We're only in day number two, and 39 games have been released on Steam already. Yeah. Yeah, Steam Deck fans are spoiled, man. Spoiled. So yeah. But other than that, man, You know, pray for those people that in the earthquake in Japan. You know, 7.5 quake. You know, I'm sure they're gonna be expecting a tsunami. You know, coming from that. You know, depending on what. If the quake is close to the water, then they might have a tsunami. So yeah, that's another thing to worry about. Semiconductor factories are on halt. They're put on pause, halt mode right now. They will be, they're just assessing the damage and see what can be saved, what can be salvaged. And, yeah. But of course, people's health comes first. So yeah, checking on their employees, make sure nobody, got hurt during that, that quake. So yeah. So it'll be about a month or so before they finally get a month or a few months before they get back things to normal, So yeah. Now for that Zeebo console or emulator, well, that's another emulator to the emulation community. I'm sure they're gonna have some fun with that. Yeah. Steam is just growing and growing. 14,531 games on Steam was released. Yeah, and 39 games already. 39. Wait a minute, was it 39? 39 new games on Steam already, just in 2 days. Yeah. Anyway. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. Oh, by the way, I will leave the link in the description box of that emulation video. So yeah, I will leave it so you can watch it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on news-wise. Hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek 9 or Dark Side.